iPad Pros are expensive, and if you are considering getting one, you should make sure it's the right device for you. If I thought about this a little bit more, I probably would have saved myself at least $500. Now, I'm not saying that this isn't a good device, I'm just saying that there are a couple of things I wish I knew before buying it. Firstly, what I thought I'd use it for and what I actually ended up using it for are two completely different things. If you're considering an iPad Pro in particular, you're probably someone who's looking for a powerful machine that's small and light enough to carry around wherever you go. I mean, that's the main reason I wanted one. I thought it would offer me the flexibility to work in cafes and parks, but there are just a couple of things holding this device back. So the main issue here is actually the battery life, and depending on what you're using this thing for, the battery can die really quickly. It's kind of fine at browsing the web, and actually isn't too bad if you're watching movies and stuff, but if you're planning on doing any work which uses more of the iPad's processing power, so editing or design software, for example, you're only really going to get like 2 or 3 hours out of it. It also charges up quite slowly, meaning that when it does die, you'll have to charge this thing for a couple of hours just to get like 50% of your battery back. The battery issue has meant that I haven't been able to edit on the go as much as I thought I would. Having said that, if your work is a little less demanding on the iPad, so let's say you're a student planning on using it to type up notes in class, for example, the battery issue shouldn't be a problem for you. But then again, if you're not using that processing power, you probably don't need a Pro model iPad, and you might be better off just buying a more affordable iPad Air. This kind of leads on to the second thing I wish I thought more about. I don't really get who this product is aimed at and how it should be used. So we've got a Pro level M2 chip capable of handling some seriously demanding workflows, a slim lightweight design which is ideal for working in lots of different random places, but because of that poor battery life, you basically always need to be close to a power outlet to really make the most out of the device, and it just seems to kind of defeat the point a little bit. By the way, 0.4% of you watching my videos have actually subscribed to my channel, only 0.4%, so if you haven't already, please do consider dropping a sub. So I've got this 12.9-inch iPad Pro, and after buying a Magic Keyboard, Apple Pencil, Apple Care, it cost me around $2,000. I really could have bought a whole MacBook Air for like half the price, which is also really lightweight and probably has enough processing power for the work that I do. But at the time, I remember thinking, Malcolm, you already have a MacBook Pro. There's no point buying a second laptop, but I might have been better off just buying that second laptop. Now, before I put you off the iPad too much, there are some good and unexpected things that came from buying this thing. And it's kind of hard to put into words, but I think that the iPad makes it a lot easier to do creative type work. In my mind, laptops are associated with writing lengthy essays back in uni or staring at Excel sheets at work. And it's kind of nice to have a different device to separate out the stuff that I do for fun. Because the iPad is so well made, it almost encourages you to experiment with different ways of working. For example, I'm not much of an art or design person, but since buying the iPad, I've been experimenting more with drawing out thumbnail ideas for YouTube videos. It's also cool that the iPad Pro just really makes you want to use it in different ways. Like, it's obviously more efficient to type up notes on a keyboard, but sometimes it's just nicer to type it out on screen. The iPad Pro just works really well, and when I am editing thumbnails on Affinity Photo or 4K videos on DaVinci, it's able to run smoothly with very minimal, crashing or freezing or anything like that. And obviously I expected the iPad Pro to work well, but it is reassuring to know that it can handle most programs with very little problems. And because it is such a dependable device, I found myself using it a lot more than I thought I would. And actually, to be honest, since I've bought it, I use it every single day for pretty much everything actually, except for editing videos, which I still prefer to do on my MacBook Pro. So I'm currently trying to be more consistent with creating these YouTube videos, and I actually originally bought this iPad so I can continue to edit videos as I travel over the next few months. Now, based on my experience so far, do I think the iPad is the best device for creative projects on the go? Well, no, not really. Now, it's important to note here that when I say creative projects, I'm only talking about the workflows involved in creating these YouTube videos. If you're a graphic designer or someone who will benefit a lot more from the iPad Apple Pencil combo, you already know that you'd be able to get a lot more value out of this device than I have. But I reckon the battery issue is still something to take into consideration if you're planning on using this thing as you travel. So as I've kind of hinted throughout the video, if you are still considering getting an iPad Pro, maybe first consider if a smaller MacBook is more appropriate for the work that you have to do. I know it's really easy to convince ourselves we need these pro labels that come with the iPad and MacBook Pro, but to be honest, in most cases, the base level device is more than good enough. Now, despite all this, I don't actually regret buying the iPad. It's something I really enjoy using now, and I think it's a tool that I can grow with as I pick up more creative skills. I'm also looking forward to seeing how it performs as I travel around Asia. I'll probably make a video about that at some point in the future. If you have reached the end of this video, shout out to you. Massive thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.